Someone once told me that whatever trauma we experienced as a child, we will spend the rest of our adult life recovering from. And at the time I believed it because I was buried in an emotional pit of mourning the people in my life, mourning my family and what it could have been, anger at myself and who I am because of my sufferings, because of my abuse, anger at the cards I'd been dealt, people who couldn't relate to me, people who would never change, etc. To some extent, we survivors buy into this thought. It's quite easy. We believe that once we leave the house, once we leave that relationship, once we leave that work environment, we're left with scars and thought patterns and coping mechanisms that no longer serve us, but that we can't help but hold on to. And we watch them. We watch these mechanisms destroy our relationships, healthy relationships, and disturb our future. But let's zoom out for a moment and analyze trauma from a view that doesn't just involve you. Have you ever considered this matter of suffering? Have you ever considered that suffering has a goal? If I can let you in on one of my deepest issues that I have in my prayers with God, this is the perfect picture. This pretty much takes the cake. There is within the realm of humanity a symbiotic relationship between suffering and the strength, the resilience of the human soul. It sucks. I don't like it. You don't like it. But we cannot ignore it, no matter how much Western society is angled against it. Those who have suffered the worst of humanity, who have had their hearts and souls scattered at the hands of our fellow man, these people have the greatest opportunity to overcome to the highest degree. Think about the people in your life that seem like they've never experienced anything difficult other than a flat tire. You'll find that some of these people are quite selfish, callous, weak, unrelatable, etc. Our materialistic society favors greed over charity, unforgiveness over forgiveness, dominance and power over contentment and humility. These priorities make us weak, make us self-centered, because we have never suffered. We don't know suffering. We don't know how to go without. We don't know how to overcome anything. And thus, we're in this predicament. Thus, we're helpless when trouble comes. But you and I, we have been given an opportunity to experience all of the above. So here's why your abuser, no matter how many kicks that they gave to you, no matter how many times they yelled at you, no matter how many lies they told to you, no matter how many times they gaslighted you or criticized you, dehumanized you, neglected you, here's why you're still kicking. 1, you become a testimony that these weapons don't work. Think about how many times they screamed at you. All the times they wanted you to believe that you were nothing, that you were worth nothing in the world, that you weren't capable of succeeding, that you were unintelligent and bitter and miserable like them. Think of all the times that you woke up crying, wishing that things were different, wishing that they would love you and take care of you and believe in you and consider you a person worth valuing. Think about all the things that they did to you, the crazy making, the manipulation, lying to you repeatedly about yourself and about themselves. Think about all the times that they tried to make you believe that they were sorry, that they were genuine, until you found out that they weren't. Think about all of these things that they did, abusing you, forcing you into doing things that you didn't want to do, forcing you to be their slave. Think about all of these things, and then look at your life now, how you survived, how you got out, how you're learning how to be an individual with opinions and with boundaries and with rules and expectations of how you allow people to treat you, of how you're living your life to the fullest. You've left that life behind you, and you are overcoming every single day. The weapons didn't work. 2, you developed the character that the abuser lacked. The empathy. Think about the lack of empathy of these people. You developed super empathy. Think about the carelessness, the neglectfulness, all the put downs and the violence, the substance abuse, the lying, the criticizing, the gossiping, the invalidating. You became the opposite intentionally. You became someone full of care for others. Instead of putting people down, you became someone to bring people up, to encourage them. Instead of being violent, you use your words. Instead of substance abuse, you flee from it. You choose not to use those substances, to drink, because you're reminded every time you pick up a glass of wine of what your abuser did to you while under the influence. Instead of lying, you choose to tell the truth even when it hurts, even when it's inconvenient. Instead of criticizing, you uplift. You see the best in people and not the worst. Instead of gossiping, you say positive things. Instead of invalidating, you validate people and their experiences. You become the best of whatever the narcissist and the toxic person, your abuser, lacked. Think about this quote from Helen Keller. She said that character cannot be developed in ease and quiet, but only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. 3, you became qualified to help others. This is the part that people don't like. But those who don't know suffering can't help others. You don't have to pretend to be a victim. You don't play the part. Your sufferings are real. You are even overqualified to help others in their troubles, to speak something deeper than just, "I'm sorry." You can easily discern someone without them even saying a word. 4, you survived your abuser to find out what you have inside, how you're able to be strong and to be resilient in times of complete devastation. You never know what you have until you experience enough trouble for that strength to be revealed. Remember all the cognitive dissonance, thinking you were crazy, questioning yourself and your sense of being, and questioning your abuser, trying to figure out, is this real? Am I right? Are they wrong? Am I wrong? All of that got strengthened when you left. When you survived the abuse, your faculties to discern right from wrong were strengthened. And it's only through further knowledge and further research that can get stronger. So feed that. You have a resilient one within you. And number 5, on the other side of your suffering, you find God. Only those who are fed up with the sickness and humanity can find God. Only those who are tired of the mistreatment and the imbalance and the sickness and the trouble and the fallenness of human nature, only those can find God and change it, because only God can change it. No social movement, no government policy, no powerful thinking can ever change the problem in humanity. Only God can change it. So think about these 5 reasons and reevaluate your life now and realize there's a reason you suffered. There's a reason you survived your abuser. And don't ever think that that time was wasted. That time in that relationship or in that family or in that work environment or with that friend Don't ever think that that time was wasted. You're sharpened. You're purified. You're strengthened. And your character will only shine brighter.